So high, I'm hypnotized. What's up is down, what's left is right. Chasing stars and holding you. I can't see the end, but we'll see it through. Times don't fly too high. Be sure to keep the ground in sight. Fly forever if you keep it tight. Love the world but keep the sky on your mind.
Good morning, Coffee Club. It is the 4th of April, 2024. Good morning, Hairback. How are you?
Pretty good. How are you, Mouse?
Wow, fantastic after last night's rain. That was crazy.
Oh, yeah? You had a pretty bad storm?
It wasn't a bad storm. It was just a, good heavy rain.
Oh, okay. By the way, hello, Kiki Eyes, Frankie, Gutters Pub, good morning.
Hey, Hostel, too. Hey, Gigi.
Hey, Hostel, sorry.
I have pinned the link to the top of the chat if you guys would like to come up and join us.
Yeah, we're just going to talk about general stuff.
I found Hairbag. Yes, I did. It took some coercion and a cup of coffee, but I got him in.
Gigi, I didn't know I was lost.
Huh. Kathy had her first live yesterday. Congratulations, yeah. Kathy. Yeah, I think she's going to grab a day on the Coffee Club.
Oh, okay.
She did good. We had a good crowd. Resto came
good.
in.
I'm glad she had a good show.
Shorty came in. And of course, all of us were there. We're always lost, huh, Frankie?
We are always lost. Well, I guess that just goes with the territory.
We're not trying to be found. I'm just saying. Somebody will find us eventually, but
yeah.
It's right. Gigi said we called your name 3 times yesterday and you didn't show up, Hairbag.
Yeah. I'm not gonna elaborate right at this time.
Okay.
But it's sometime here in the near future. I will elaborate.
Okay.
Who knows? Could be today. I have no idea. It all depends.
So have you been keeping up with that bridge over there and the updates on it? The
Not
bridge.
really. What I've been watching a lot about is that World Central Kitchen getting all those people that got hit by missiles intentionally because they were feeding the Palestinian refugees. Killed not 8 or 9, I think it was, from World Central Kitchen, and they don't have any weapons, nothing to do with the war, only feeding people.
Yeah, from my understanding, they have admitted that mistake, blamed it
I
on bad.
don't think it was a mistake. I think they did it because they didn't want them feeding the Palestinian people.
Well, maybe.
To me, it seems like it's a get the hell out of Gaza and don't ever come back situation.
Well, it's it's complicated. You
Yeah,
know,
it is.
I mean,
Yeah, it is.
we feel bad for the innocent Palestinians, but at the same time, they allowed this group to come up in their community and to control it. They allowed that. And then when the war broke out, they they stood as human guards. And so you kind of give them the side eye. You know what I mean? Like, why would y'all do that? If, why do y'all support them?
Yeah, I know, right?
When they made their way to the hospital there, Israel and the Israel soldiers, when they made
Right.
the hospital, you've got all these people. All right, Frankie, don't jump. You might flip, but hurry real fast.
You
I
and
don't.
don't jump because you might hurt yourself in there when the floor's wet, Frankie.
But yeah, I mean, it's hard to give these people humanitarian aid when they kind of sit on the fence as to who they support. I mean, they supported Hamas. They gave Hamas a place to be, a place to rule, and they allowed that.
Yeah.
And like I said, when they got to the hospital, and they're literally sitting on a hospital bed that is covering, Hamas guns and ammo, and you're like, really,
See what Frankie wrote?
yeah. That's it, Gutters Pub. Stop giving our money away.
That's it. That's it. Exactly.
And I'm sorry, but I keep hollering, where the hell is Europe?
I wondered that too. I thought that was what NATO was all about, supporting each other. Apparently not.
NATO was made to protect themselves against a certain group of people who they are now considering letting in. So that's a brain break.
Oh my God.
They got to the bridge. Have they even got the ship out yet? Have they pulled the
No,
ship?
no. At least as of yesterday, they haven't. They said they still got a lot of metal to remove before they can do it.
Yeah, that's a lot of metal for sure.
They also showed how did they put it? I think it was infrared, or I don't know. It was something like that that they showed under the water of all the debris and stuff that's under there, and how small and heavy and everything is, and how hard it's going to be to get everything out of there. And it was pretty messed up.
Should we draw squares now on how many cranes we're going to lose during this?
What was that?
I said, should we draw up like football squares and bet on bet on how many cranes we're going to lose during this?
You know, I thought of that too. Wouldn't it be weird if one of them happened to tip over and then they got to rescue the crane?
It's possible. Them cranes tip really easy.
Well, especially when they're on water. At least I would think so.
Well, they're on top of the water, but even as massive as they are, that's a lot of metal.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is.
Well, they said they had opened up one area so that they could resume water traffic.
They want to, but it's going to take a while.
Oh. I was trying to say, I looked at it yesterday and I didn't see a spot where they could get through yet.
Yeah, well, think about it. If that metal weighs as much as they're saying, they're only going to be able to probably bring up one or two beams off that bridge at a time. So it isn't going to.
Oh, yeah, they're not going to be able to
just-
pull them up in slabs. They're going to have to cut them up and pull them up.
Oh, yeah.
Cut
Yep.
them up in chunks.
And that's going to take a lot of work and time, too. Boy, the people doing that job are going to be paid very well. When you get underwater welders or underwater people that can cut through steel,
Oh,
I'll
yeah.
tell you what.
Even back in the 90s, those guys were making like $45 an hour. Some of them 75
Yeah, can you
bucks an
imagine
hour.
what it is now?
Oh, yeah. It's good money. But hey, Fizz Crank. But it goes
Welcome
to
in.
show that, we still need to be pushing our kids at the various jobs, not just doctors and lawyers. We need to teach them that, those labor jobs are worth it. They're important.
Yeah, they are.
To
Problem
be-
is, everybody nowadays, they want everything instantaneously, which I'm meaning money.
oh, yeah.
I gotta have it now.
Yeah, they want instant education and instant career.
Instant gratification is what it is. At least in my mind. If I'm wrong, well then, okay. But
Well, I mean, I
that's
think the
just-
world has been bending that way since the 50s,
no, I didn't have it when I was I don't mean instant gratification, but the term instant gratification never even popped out of anybody's mouth back when I was a teenager and even into my 20s.
No, because back then it was still called convenience. They were just happy to have convenience.
Well,
the
yeah, the convenience, but they also knew that you had to go out and earn what you're going to
oh
get.
yeah, but just like the automatic dishwasher, that was a
Oh, yeah.
convenience. You know what I mean? And they were like,
Yeah.
"Yay, wow! Like I don't have to spend 80% of my day doing dishes, just 20% loading the dishwasher and unloading it."
True.
But they were just happy to have convenience, not so much gratification. But
Oh, we need a topic.
what's the weather like over there, Hairback? That's always something different every day.
Well, I've been saying all week we were supposed to get At first, they said around 2 feet of snow, and then they said maybe 2 inches. It's green as hell out there,
Yay!
but it is overcast, and the sky to the south looks quite darkened. So I don't know. Maybe we'll get rain. I have no idea. And they did
That's
a report
interesting.
about the eclipse, and where I'm at, I'm in the total path of totality,
Yeah,
and
you are.
it's gonna be a 50-50 chance if we'll see it now.
But yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like Fizzcrank says, he took metal fabrication in high school with the hopes to become an underwater welder. I couldn't afford the school though. Even ended up being a welder, just not in the water. And I did come across a place over in it's Pascagoula, Mississippi. They've got an Ingalls shipyard down there that does offer that class. They will teach you as you hey LW. They will
Hey,
teach you in the
LW.
school out at the Ham Marine Yard out there. But that's the only place I've ever even seen as a way in to get to underwater welding. But these jobs, you know, teach these kids in high school that these jobs can be even better than being a doctor or a lawyer.
Yeah, they'll earn you a
You know,
lot more money, especially if you get good at what you do.
as well as, and there's smaller things in these larger fields. Uh Pharmacy school is another one that I think they need to be pushing right now a whole lot. We're running out of pharmacists. They're running low on pharmacists. And it's not really pharmacy school is one of the easiest. It's kind of like phlebotomy school. And phlebotomy is just working with blood, learning how to draw blood. They
Hmm.
make good money as well. You don't have to be a full-blown doctor.
True.
Some of these courses that your local junior colleges offer are way better than anything that Harvard or any of these Ivy League schools can pump out. I've heard that. Fizz crank, yeah. Because it is a very dangerous job.
Yes.
It equals that. I think when I read that article once about welders, it equaled the expectancy rate for someone who hauled jet fuel, something very explosive, because it's a
Right.
dangerous job. But you do get hazard pay for those dangerous jobs. Good morning, Sasha
Right.
Jade. I'm
Good
not
morning, Sasha.
Dears Crank, you're not the right color. Let me fix that. There you go. That way you guys can wander around chat and sub up. Because this is the coffee hour to check each other out, to link up to everybody. Check out each other's channels if you're a creator. And sometimes some of you guys, y'all wonder why we sub up to some of y'all that um don't have any content, and that's because just so we know it's you when you show up in chat, we can make sure it's you and not somebody else with a sock account. I trust you, First Crank, you know that.
See what he said?
Yes, that's what I said. Of course I trust you. Yeah, but in high school, push your kids towards those trade schools.
Yeah, I tried to do that when I was in high school. But back when I was in high school, it was during the race riots in the 70s.
Mm.
And they turned the high school that I was going to learn the basics for what being a chef. They closed the school to all white people because it was in a black neighborhood, but it was the only school that had the course that I needed. So I never was able to finish it.
Kiki, hey, Izzy Pop, good morning. Kiki
Hey,
says,
Izzy, good morning.
my granddaughter took a test the other day in school and she passed it. And now when she graduates from high school, she's got a nurse waiting on her online condition she has to go to college. Okay. Now she's got a job waiting on her to be a nurse on one condition she has to finish college. That's good. Oh, wow. I was so proud when my stepson showed me his union card after becoming an electrician. I harped on him to get a trade. Absolutely. And these trades, you can get up and go somewhere else. When you have these trades like electrician, plumbing, welding, automotive, and you decide you don't like your town or your area, you can get up and go somewhere else because, they still need a mechanic and a plumber and an electrician everywhere.
Right. That's right.
And so that's something to remind the kids that those kind of trades can go with you anywhere. You never have to worry about being at rock bottom because with those trades, you've always got something to get started, get back on your feet with.
Exactly.
Those are the trades that you can actually just create your own business, not work under a boss. It's something I heard in high school that stuck with me for years. And that was the A and B students will go on to college to work for the C and D students.
What are C and D students?
The A and B the students that made A's and B's.
Oh, I see. All right. Yeah, okay. I got you now.
But the A and B students will go to college to work for the C and D students. Because the C and D students, they weren't good in school, but they still had a brain. And so those were the ones that instead of going on to college, they hit the workforce running. And by the time the kids got out of college that were in their class, they've got their own business. But, they still need somebody to come in and do their accounting. They still need a computer tech to come in and fix their computers.
Right. All right. I want to say hello to Flatty and I want to say hello to Kim. Hi, Kim.
Hey, guys.
Charlie says hi.
That's it. Robotics may take a lot of jobs, but someone will always be needed to fix the robots. Sorry, that's not good. Lowering the standards like that is going to cause huge issues eventually. The standards have been lowered so much. We have doors falling out of planes. That's true. I feel like that was sabotage, though. I feel like that was intentional.
I wondered about that. I adore you too, Kim.
Well, we have all of these immigrants coming over the border. And don't get me wrong. Yes, a lot of them are willing to work hard. Hey, Kim, I'm here.
Anyone in Tennessee?
I'm here. What was I saying?
You know, I have no idea because I was reading chat. Boy, that makes me a good co-host, don't it?
Oh, but they're. I feel like with all the immigrants coming over and them willing to work, how long before they're filling these jobs that they really have no skill to fill? You know what I mean? Like working on an airplane.
Right, right. Hey, that might be what it was. Remember, you said it was. You thought it was sabotage.
I wonder. I do. And having these immigrants come over, putting them to work is fine. Everybody, deserves a job. But we're not vetting these people. What if we are putting them in jobs for them to sabotage?
Yeah, right. It's not too far fetched either.
And Kim, I have tried to follow that one. I guess you could say I followed it lightly. I haven't been able to follow it heavy. It's just so Summer Wellsy. It's so Summer Wellsy.
Gutter says the planes had no screws in the door plugs. They only had sealant on most of these 737s. Freaking people.
Yeah, Kim, it is. It's just so Summer Wellsy. No matter what avenue you take, you get two steps and can go no further. And that's odd to me. How does a person disappear into thin air with no scent trail, no evidence? The parents can't keep their story straight.
And
It's
that's
just,
if they even tell the truth in the first place.
yeah, exactly, Kim. It just, and so, by default, when the situation unfolds like that, we just instantly double down on the parents. And that's sad because there's cases that the parents didn't have anything to do with it.
Well, I
But
can
biblically,
understand them being looked at because they look at it as the parent is supposed to be able to tell you what happened to that child. But like you say too, there are the cases where the parents are innocent and they have nothing to do with it. But they do have to question the parent to either rule them out or to make, the case against them.
right.
So,
Good morning, Sassy. And it's those cases where when you try to start eliminating people, you can't eliminate anybody.
true. Good morning, Sassy.
You know, I've heard Chris McDonough say many times about the Summer Wells case that as far as the case, he hasn't left the house yet. And he says that because there's no proof she left that house. There was proof she was there, but no proof she left. Now, I did hear something that they found his glasses and something
Whose
else.
glasses?
Uh, Sebastian's. But
Oh,
I haven't caught up to whether or not those were actually his belongings or even where they were found. So I don't know about that. They were not his. Oh, okay. Why?
I know, right?
Even if I were planning a move and one of my children go missing, and shoot, they're adults. Even as adults, I'm not leaving this residence. I'm not leaving this town.
That them two, I'll tell you, they really got your brain, swimming because, like you say, I wouldn't be leaving. I'd be looking for my child.
That underlying thought that if they come back, if they come back.
Good morning, Nikita.
Hey, Nikita. Right, Kim? Like, I'm definitely going to be the loudest human in that neighborhood for sure. You're going to have to arrest me because when you tell me not to search, and guys, they do. They tell every parent not to search. They will hold the parents out of the search. They always have. And I'm going to be that mama that gets thrown in jail because I ain't sitting at that house. I'm out looking.
Sassy said, I heard somewhere that they found his pants where they found his body.
Oh, she may be thinking of the other one. The other kid, the one that left the bar and ended up in the river with no pants.
Yeah. The one down in Maryland, Baltimore.
Oh, I thought it was in Tennessee, but either way, yeah. Yeah, Riley. That's right, Riley. He was the one that left the club. They think he was.
Yeah. Yep. And that's really odd that he was staggering the way he was for only having one drink if he wasn't drugged. Huh.
I feel like if he was drugged, whoever drugged him followed him out. And followed him all the way until there was nobody around.
No, honestly, I think it was just a random crime. I really do, because when they were showing the video, there was nobody following him.
Well, I mean, not directly, but I think somebody watched him when he left. I think somebody scurried around the shadows until he was by himself. You just don't drug a person for the shits and giggles of it. You know what I mean? You drug them as a target. You're up to no good.
Yeah, okay, I see your point in there. Okay.
You're trying to enable them so that you can do something bad, right?
True.
So I feel like, if somebody went so far as to drug his drink, I think they one of those things where they let him leave, let a couple of people leave, but they've got their eye on him. They're not being conspicuous, but they followed him out. The fact that he had no water in his lungs doesn't set right with me.
Yeah, I know.
Give me just a second.
And that's what makes it bad when they find no water in his lungs. That means he was killed on land or died on land, but how did he get in the water?
Don't you think that just kind of spanning across the day's true crime, we live in a weird world.
Yeah.
The motives, the motives we have out there going on for the crimes that they commit.
I don't get it, but
And see, that's what I'm saying, Fish Crank. Them druggies don't just pass that shit out. That stuff costs money. And for somebody to invest in a drug that they're going to hand to somebody else, especially a stranger, that's 100% no good. That's, it's 100% targeting them for a bad reason. Whether it be sexual or whether they were trying to, just rob him. Maybe maybe it was a local and they thought he was a rich college kid, maybe had a little money on him.
That's true, Kim. We live in a scary and sick world.
I know, right, Fist Drink? They don't do that. They don't just give it away. I remember us joking the other day about, you know, there's a lot less people handing me free drugs than what my parents taught me was going to happen, right?
Mm, yeah, right.
I mean, when we were kids and they told us to say no to drugs, they made it sound like, people were just out there passing that shit out.
I
Yeah,
wish.
don't take that from strangers. No, they weren't. That shit's expensive. Just out there handing it to strange little kids. No, they ain't.
Wow.
But to be fair, I haven't never caught on fire either. And I can do the stop, drop, and roll in my head, and I'm still never caught on fire. What's up with that?
You know what? I have. Oh yeah. Back
So,
I don't know, back in the 80s I went to a carnival and I won a t-shirt, and when they give you those t-shirts, they're the ones that were rejected by the shirt company that made them.
oh, uh-huh.
Well, the one I ended up with, it had a it fit good up on top, but when you got down to the waistline, the thing looked like it was for somebody that weighed 300 pounds. I mean, it just ballooned right out. Well, one morning it was really cold in our house. And this was just after we moved in, only about 4 months after. It was in January. So to warm it up, I turned the oven on, and then I turned a couple burners on. Well, I went and I opened the oven door and I turned around to put my butt on it to get a little warm. Well, what I didn't know was that the back of the shirt had landed on one of the flames from the burner.
Oh, shoot.
They make those things out of polyester, okay? Now, when you're in school, they tell you to drop and roll. What they
Yeah.
don't tell you is do it if you're only wearing cotton, because if you wear polyester, the shit sticks to you. And that's exactly what it did.
Oh, shoot.
Oh, yeah. 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm screaming for my wife and I'm running through the house, and all she can see is flames running up the back on my back.
Ooh.
I had long hair like I have now, and there was a great big U, and I had two weird looking ponytails in the back of my head, is what it looked like. Or should I say pigtails? Oh, yeah, that was hell.
Did you have to go get that hair straightened out?
Well, yeah, but I also had to go to the hospital too.
Ooh.
I had to wear this cream that you kept in the fridge
Uh-huh.
for, I think I had to do it for almost 2 months. The blister they took off my back from it,
Ooh.
oh, I'd say, what, good 5, 6 inches around and long because of that polyester burning my skin.
Mm.
So, and that's a good idea, Gutters. Don't buy kids polyester if there's a chance they're going to burn, because it's not pretty. I never knew that about that it would just keep melting. It's almost like napalm.
I knew a girl when she was little. I know the percolators, hair bag for coffee, the old
Yeah,
electric
yeah,
percolators.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
she was about 3 years old playing through the house, and she had on a those plastic raincoats. You know the ones I'm
Okay.
talking about. She
Yep.
was playing in one of those, and she reached up for something on the cabinet and pulled that percolator off on top of her.
Oh my God.
Oh man, and just melted that plastic into her poor skin.
Oh my God.
She had scars way into adulthood. Like her scars
Oh, I
never went
bet.
away.
I
And she was,
believe my back is still scarred, but I can't prove it because I can't see it.
yeah, that
I can't.
was,
I can't remember the name of it, Gutters. But I'll tell you what, when my wife would put it on and then bandage it, oh my God, did it feel so good. It really did. Hey, Gutters,
hey,
welcome up.
Gigi.
Hello.
How
How are
are
you
you
this
this morning,
morning?
beautiful?
I'm doing wonderful. Getting ready to go get the grandson, but I did want to. You were talking about the coffee pot getting
Yeah.
spilt on. Yeah, that actually happened to me when I was 19 months old. Um, we lived in a small camper or small trailer, and my mom had just done ironing and she was putting the ironing board away. And I was sitting in my high chair and she moved me the high chair over and it was too close to the stove that had the coffee, the percolator kind that, is hotter than hell
Mm,
itself.
Right.
And I poured that entire pot that had just got done percolating all over me from
Oh
like
my
head to toe.
God.
And they rushed me to the hospital. They put nitroglycerin in me. Back then, you could smoke in the hospital, and they wouldn't let not only nobody could smoke in the hospital, but they couldn't even smoke on the block because this stuff was highly flammable, and they didn't want to blow up the hospital. So, but that was how they. I don't know what the nitroglycerin stuff was supposed to do, but I still have scars a little bit on my arm and a little bit on my stomach, but it was my entire body. I mean, from
ugh.
head to toe. Um, and my mom used to call me a tar baby because I literally was black from it. I mean, from head to toe. It took a long time for the scabs to come off, and it was awful.
Ooh.
It was awful, and to this day, if I get burnt, oh my gosh, it's like the
Hey,
worst thing in
Lo-Fi.
I know it's like traumatic.
oh,
It's like
yeah.
pain plus
Good
all that
morning, Army Fett.
electricity.
Yep,
Sorry, ladies.
You're
and
fine.
then I also had a friend who she got burnt from grease, and her scars way worse than mine. Her scars, she was like 7 or 8, and it went down her leg, across all the way down to her ankle, and
Ooh.
she still has bad scars from that.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Yeah, and it's years of healing. It's funny that it can take a split
Wow.
second to burn the body and years to heal. I mean, years to heal.
And
Wait, I'm
sometimes it
sandpaper?
never does.
Siegel said I'm sandpaper. I'm more fucking abrasive than sandpaper. Come on, give me at least, you know, sandpaper? Please tell me it's like the heavy duty grit.
I know, right?
You need to be really abrasive. And I see Aaron's here. Aaron, why are you
Yes.
coming up on panel?
Hey, Aaron, the link is
Yes,
pinned at the top of
please.
the chat. If you guys want to come up, come up. It's just an
We've
easygoing morning.
we haven't heard from him in forever.
I
I
know.
know.
How are
I'm
you,
sure he's been
Aaron?
frustrated with all his shit that he's got going on.
This
I
is
know. That must be
this is
frustrating
funny.
as hell. What's that?
That's funny. Army vet, good morning, bud. You got your granny panties?
I don't know. It's forenoon, Frankie. He may be naked, naked.
AB,
Yeah.
don't be feeling people's panties, not even the grannies.
Hey, Aaron.
Hey guys.
Still got the top
Hey.
card.
Oh, he's still got Buddy's head. Oh, Jesus.
That's his flap, his meat flap.
Now we know he has not been online because he hasn't even changed it.
I am never getting rid of this. This is internet fucking gold right here.
I do not take credit for the making of that picture.
Oh, that's funny. I am never getting rid of this picture.
How are you doing, Aaron?
Trying to survive. Sucks being, kind of stuck here at my
Yeah,
parents' house. I mean,
yeah.
fuck, man. I'm 46 fucking years old. I've been on my own just about my whole life. I've only ever had to move back home one fucking time in my early 20s.
Well, I know, but shit happens, dude. It wasn't like you planned for it to happen
Yeah,
like
I
that.
know, but
Right.
it's still just super fucking
I mean,
humbling.
thank God. I know, but thank
Yeah,
you, God, you
yeah.
got parents that can help you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
really.
yeah, I'm super thankful about that. That's for sure. I don't know what's going on. My dad said he's waiting for a call back from the lawyer, that he spoke with the receptionist, that he did some researching, and we need to see if we even have a case
Hmm.
because of the signatures that I supplied on the closing documents. They might be able to say, well, you signed this and you should have read it, and I might end up getting stuck with that property in Missouri.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, and you
So,
probably need to think about how you're going to deal with that, how you're going to
well,
address that. Are you just tear down
well,
the
well, I
building and
think
put
what
up?
I'm going to do, is I spoke to a couple other friends, and they were saying, well, you still have that money coming from the sale of the property in Northern California. And so concentrate on trying to get that sold. And then when you do get that money, take a trip to Missouri, hire a wrecking company to come and haul that thing off. And then, get a dumpster to scrape up and clean up the rest of the lot. Bring in a shitload of fill dirt and build a concrete retaining wall and try to bring up the back of the property as level as possible. And then put down a nice thick dirt and gravel base,
Well,
and
you'll be
then
broke at that point. That's how you tell that.
install a metal building, and then just do like a barn dominium or whatever,
That could be really cool.
So at least that way it's metal, it's secure, you're not going to get in without metal cutting tools.
Yeah, my uncle actually did that. They had a shop that he inherited on some land in Southern Oregon, and he just built an apartment inside the shop, and it's pretty cool. They love it.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's not going to be too terribly expensive you know, to form up the concrete. I have plenty of experience tying steel and forming and running ties and all that stuff.
Oh, well,
So,
that's good. That'll save you a bucket of money.
yeah. Yeah, I have the experience to be able to do all that. Getting the materials and shit and getting everything lined out. That's not a problem. Um
Sausage
and
Jade said, put a sign with clean fill dirt wanted. That's a
yeah.
good idea.
Yeah, that'll be a pretty decent expenditure for sure, bringing in, fill dirt, because you figure a 10-yard truck, by itself is almost $1,000.
Yeah, you might be
Good
able to find
morning,
some
hon.
basically for
I'm
free.
saying hi to my daughter. I'm
You
sorry.
know, and then you figure you're gonna probably need, another $10,000 in concrete just to build the retaining walls, and that's not even including the materials, that
Hey,
it's gonna take to
sunshine,
build the
welcome
rest.
in.
So I don't know. It's just one of those things where, everything's really up in the air right now. And I don't like this feeling of floating. I'm always a person that's got like 3 backup plans. And right now, all of my backup plans have fell through. And so now I'm like, oh shit, what am I doing? I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, sometimes in the midst of the storm, you just need to be still. I know that sounds crazy, but sometimes the best thing to do is just be still for a minute. And then he'll show you.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be so bad in Missouri if the property, like, 2/3 of the property was basically hillside.
Oh,
It's a pretty good slope, 5 to 10% grade.
mm,
Yeah, it's a pretty good slope.
not much you can do with that.
Right. And so that's why I
Except
was saying
fill
I
it in,
wouldn't,
maybe.
well, that's what I was saying. I would build, probably 50-foot wide by 30-foot deep, long ways, concrete footing on the property up to the level part, and then just bring in a bunch of fill dirt and compact it and fill it in, and then
Yeah,
put down a nice dirt and gravel base and then just put a metal building on it,
Right.
yeah.
you know. So,
I'll tell you what, if I was in your situation, I would want some retribution. Because
yeah.
that's bullshit what they pulled on you. I am sorry. That does not flush with me at all.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. It's like, they're saying like, well, you bought it as is and you knew what you were getting into. And I was like, no, you told me it was a nice mild fixer upper that are just, and I told you, I said I could do some subfloor repairs and I could do a kitchen remodel and stuff. That's not a problem. New paint, you know what I mean? That kind of
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I consider a fixer upper. Okay,
right.
not something that's fucking falling apart and moldy and rotten where the fucking one whole bedroom is basically useless. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, and you can't live in a moldy condition. You'll get a lung infection that'll make you very, very sick.
Hi, Sippin.
Hey, sipping.
Good morning, sipping.
We have to take Army vet. Yeah, you're right. You are right.
I don't
But
know. I mean,
easier said than done sometimes.
you got to remember though, he's still got the land. The land itself has still got, it's still got some value in it. Whether he resells it or keeps it and builds on it, but I mean, you still got the value of the land. You're not walking, you're not totally empty-handed. You still have the land.
Right.
And for that price, it's still a dang good price for land right now. I don't think you could get land here for even just an acre for that amount.
I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing people pick up, 15 acres for 30 grand.
Oh, where?
Just all over the place. I mean, there was Oklahoma, Texas, northern Alabama,
Mm,
bunch of
I'm not going to
places.
do northern Alabama. I don't think I could go back out west to Texas and Oklahoma again.
There's a question for you,
Did you
Aaron.
Oh
buy?
yeah, yeah. No, I trusted the realtor's word and the pictures that they showed me. But they took like these beauty photos of everything from like weird angles and from far away where you couldn't really see anything. And then when I was asking about stuff, You know, they never mentioned any like major water damage and mold infestation and like mud dauber wasps and shit all in the walls. And
Well, by the looks of it, had the house been flooded? Because that's what it looks like to me.
no,
Was
the
that
house
just
hasn't been flooded.
roof damage and rain?
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, you need some sort of moisture to get that mold to grow like that.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
for
sure.
water damage,
Well,
water
I mean,
damage in
you can tell that it's been damaged and leaking for a very long time. That doesn't happen over the course of like a month. You
No,
know what I mean?
there.
no, you're
And
right. It
so
doesn't.
what what my parents are trying to bank on is the fact that they didn't disclose that. And
Right.
I'm just kind of worried about the fact that, you know, because I bought it as is, sight unseen, that, you know, they're going to be like, well, you knew and you should have read and you should have had a home inspection. And I was like, I trusted what the realtor said. The realtor said you can live in it, it's habitable, it's not a problem, it's got water, it's on a well, it's got all this, you know. And come to find out, the place is fucking rotten. It's got an abandoned well and it's on city water, no electricity. Like, you know what I mean? The place was an absolute wreck. And so that's what I'm saying. It's more beneficial for me probably just to bulldoze the place, you know what I mean? And then just put a metal building down on it. And that's
did
if I get
you
stuck with the property.
did you set up a mortgage or did you pay full cash?
No, I paid cash.
Well, see, then you still have the value of the land. I
Yeah.
mean, either way to work with. Even if, even after all this, they say, no, you're stuck. Remember, you still have the value of the land to work with. You can sell it.
Right.
You can also take it and use the value of the land to get a loan to like put a trailer on it or something like that.
Well, that was the other thing. I mean, you know, it's kind of a catch-22. It's either sit on it and wait and hopefully the land value increases to be able to get my investment back, because the way that they sold it and marketed it, they said, "Oh, you know, 2 acres with a 3+2 fixer upper." And so uh in a moral sense, knowing that how bad the dwelling was and how dilapidated it was, they should have sold it for land price only, you know, but they didn't.
Yeah, yeah,
They sold it and marketed it as it had a habitable structure on it, and that
yeah.
was just not the case.
Habitable dwelling. Yeah.
Right, and that was just a flat out lie. So,
I don't know. That's just me, though. That's clinging to the silver lining. The fact that if it all goes flat, you at least still have the value of the land there and the value of the land in California.
right. Right. And so my parents were like, well, that was kind of a smart thing that you did by buying land outright.
Right.
You know what I mean? Is because you kind of preserved your money, you know, in a way.
Right.
But the problem is, you know, the issue with the land in California is that because it's so expensive to build a home, raw lots, you know, even though mine has power, water, and septic on it and a level building site ready to go, even though it has all that, it's still declining in value simply for the fact that it's too expensive to build,
Right.
you know? And so that's kind of scary. And then, you know, then the whole mess with the property in Missouri. And so I'm just like, I'm kind of stuck right now because I'm down to, you know, my last bit of cash here. And so I'm just kind of holding a tight grip on it and not really wanting to make any moves until I find out what exactly is going to happen.
Right. Right.
And so more or less, it's just get the property in California sold.
Yeah. And that may take time. It may take a miracle like, a a financial guy coming in, a financer coming in and buying up several properties of the town, because most of the town is gone.
Yeah.
That's going to be the only way it comes back, is if some investor comes in and starts throwing their money around, and wanting to buy up property to put in a shopping strip, or an
Right. Well, that
apartment
was the
complex
thing,
or
is they
something.
were right next to my road, where my like little backwoods neighborhood is. They're putting in a big shopping center. So that's going to help out,
Yeah.
with the value. And then also my property is surrounded by, brand new rebuilt homes. So I
Hmm.
mean, it does make the property look attractive, but then again, at the same time, looking at the, mandates and the permit fees, all that kind of stuff, it kind of scares people away, because they go, well,
Yeah.
shit, you know, you're asking for another $80,000 on top of what it just cost to build the structure,
Right.
because we have to
And
have all this extra stuff that you're mandating and telling that people that they have, when they're rebuilding a new home after the first of the year, you have to have these solar panels, you have to build your house with only wildlife urban interface approved building materials that are priced exorbitantly high,
Yeah, of
and
course.
they're in short supply, as well as you have to have a pressurized sprinkler system that is fed directly from the main water line to your house. And I'm like, really? So you think putting sprinkler systems in everybody's houses up in the ceilings is and then connecting it to city water is going to prevent a disaster? Because I remember when the fire came through, all the power went out, and guess what?
right.
The city
No
pumps
pump.
all run on fucking electricity,
Yep,
dude.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
You fucking idiots. But that's what we have, dude. We have a bunch of morons that have gotten themselves into high places and making up a bunch of bullshit that doesn't affect them.
Oh yeah, that's the Dems over there, but that's Cali. Cali's been run by the Dems
Yep.
as kind of an experiment, and their experiment is failing miserably. Like, Californians have to know that. But what they want in California is to put a huge gap. Where'd you go, Gigi? But put a huge
Yeah,
gap
really.
between the rich and the poor. No middle class.
Yeah. They weren't fucking playing when they were like, you will own nothing.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about the happy part, but you will own
Right.
nothing was definitely a true part. I mean, when you have hedge funds, companies purchasing private real estate and then just sitting on it and sitting on it and sitting on it, you know what I mean? While
Yeah.
people are having a hard time buying homes, and they're hedging all this, these companies are hedging this money against properties and driving up the costs, and people are waking up to it. It's kind of a scam.
Yeah.
That's why I was just like, I'm pretty much done with living in a city near major towns, near any of that shit. I'm trying to live out back.
Yep.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I hear you. We're out so far that they have never even been able to run city water through here. So most of us are on creek water.
Right.
But the problem they ran into was, out here we're nestled right up against a national park, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the roads in Tennessee are not straight. Nothing is square, and pretty. It's jagged, and but the way that, hey, big drink tea, the way it's nestled up against the national forest there, to run the water line, they have to cut across national land or feed it back under the road and run it on the other side of the road. It's that complicated over one corner of national forest that we can't run water through.
Yeah. I don't know. They're probably gonna say, well, if you want water, just drill your own well. which is like $35,000 to $40,000.
Well, that's what we've got a well. We're on creek water. Several of us out here are still on it. Good morning, Cobalt. And they ran it halfway down the road years ago, back in the 80s. And of course, the guys back here, they're up in the mountains and they're like, anti-government, no government, right?
Hmm.
So they had water. So they were like, no, you cannot run your city water through here. We don't want your city government water. Well, now that, all the people that own these houses have passed away, passed them on to their children, we're all back here like, yeah, we could use some city water. So we looked into it. $10,000 to figure out how to reroute this water line, and none of us are willing to pay it.
Yeah.
But, in the course of it, I decided, it's a new well, or it's a new place to me. They've always drank the well water. I want to test it. Resto. So I tested the well water, and it was actually cleaner than the city water.
Yeah.
So we all just kind of went, nah, you keep your 10,000. We'll just stick to the well water.
Hey, Aaron, you're lucky you're not living in a town that's about 20 miles from me. They have a proposal on the city council to raise property taxes by 19.5%.
Huh.
19.5%. Honestly, I don't think that's legal.
Hey, be okay.
Yeah,
But
that's
they're
trash.
saying they keep running out of the money the state gives you.
It's mismanagement of funds. They're paying themselves too much and not spending enough on the budget of what is
Yeah,
needed.
Hey, Rev
yeah.
Rat. And government's going to get you any way they can, even in Tennessee, living off the land. They say that. But the amount of permits required to, per se, live off the land,
Right.
you got to have permits to put a garden in. You have to have permits to put up a fence. You have to have
Well,
more.
that's one of the main reasons why I bought where I did in Missouri, is because out there is none of that shit. There are no codes or permits or whatever. You can live on your property in a fucking tent.
Well, in Tennessee, they're flipping that around. We had an issue, and they wanted to ban people that were living in camp trailers. The campers.
Right.
And so they made this city ordinance to where a camper could only sit in a spot for 2 weeks, that you could only exist in it for 2 weeks. That was, camping, quote. Well, there's people out in these camping sites that actually live there most of the year. So the only way to get by this was every 2 weeks they would do this fruit basket turnover in the campground. And so they would just like trade campsites, right? Just move it around. And then we got
that's garbage.
it got into the argument about tiny homes and the things they were wanting to put in place to keep people from living in a camp trailer. Totally outruled the tiny homes. Totally washed them out. Can't have a tiny home in town at all.
Yep. They did the same thing in Paradise for people that were trying to rebuild and trying to just recover after the fire. They were just like, nope, you're not allowed to live here in your camp trailers. Even though you guys own your property outright, it doesn't matter. You have no rights.
Right. They came in and took a guy's property from him and his kids.
Yep.
Because he was trying to build a house on the property and live in a camp trailer while doing it. It was so absurd.
Yeah. And that's what I mean by an overbearing government. It's come high time where, we need to make politicians scared again.
Uh-huh.
And unfortunately, it's gotten to the point to where they've created such a police state that they're like, go ahead and fight back. We'll just kill your ass and then make you a martyr on our made up propaganda news.
Yeah.
That's basically right too.
Yeah. So unfortunately, it's not like just one dude can flip the fuck out and change shit. You know what I mean? It's going to take a couple million people to flip the fuck
Oh,
out and
believe
change
me,
shit.
when there's a proposition that require, that they say they're going to fine you for this, or even, even something like putting in parking meters. Anytime they roll over a new law, you can bet that they've already allocated those funds to a specific project. That when the project was being created and they decided they needed more funding, then poof, legislation steps in and you've got new taxes.
Yep. Well,
Hey,
that was the
Pepsi.
thing. I mean, with the whole, mandating that you have to have solar panels on your roof now that are connected to PG&E. So all new homes being built after January of this year in the state of California have to have a certain amount of wattage of solar panels connected to the roof.
And that's such a scam. Such a
Oh
scam.
yeah,
I had a
yeah,
friend, she's over in Texas, in the College Station area, right? Big fancy neighborhood, paid bukus for this house. And she decided she was going to fall for that program where you put the solar panels on your house. Now, when you do that, you are adding power to the power grid that the power company didn't create.
right.
You're adding power. Now, the deal was supposed to be that any power that solar panel added to the grid, the resident was supposed to get paid for.
Yeah,
That never happened.
suppose.
Never
Supposed to.
happened. Yeah.
Nope. They just sidestepped that shit real quick and we're like, yeah, no, we're
Yeah.
just going to take it and you have to deal with it. And we're still going to charge you a shitload of money to sell your electricity back to you.
Oh, and don't forget about that minimum bill on your power anyway.
Yeah.
Your house can sit empty with nothing on and you're still going to get a minimum bill every month.
Right. Yeah. Did you hear about that? There was some sort of big solar farm somewhere in the Midwest. I got hit with a hailstorm, destroyed like millions of dollars in solar panels.
Wow. Why only on the roof, Sausage A? Because in those fancy neighborhoods, they don't want them on the ground. It takes up space and they're ugly. So they want
Right.
them on the roof, out of the way.
And some rich bastard somewhere in some rich area of town gets to tell you how you have to live.
Oh, yeah. Oh, she messed up. She's in this big fancy neighborhood with the homeowners association. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd never wanted anything like that. I knew right off
No.
the bat I was like, no property owners association, no homeowners association, none of that shit. Like, leave me the fuck alone.
Come in and tell you when to cut your grass, what color you can paint your house, and those bushes
Yeah,
gotta go.
some
You
s-
know.
some snooty bitch with nothing better to do coming by and measuring the height of your fucking grass with her tape measure.
Uh-huh. She said that
You
was
gotta
her
have a
biggest
serious
mistake.
problem to go around and do that to people's property.
That's why I left Paradise because
But
it's
that's
that shit started happening. A bunch of people, bunch of like rich people came up from the Bay and Yuba City and Sacramento and stuff like after the fire and bought up like a bunch of properties and then built like these like 2,500 square foot custom fucking 2-story homes and and injected a shitload of money into the town council and all this quote unquote rebuilding effort. Well,
yeah.
all they did was just change a bunch of laws around and make up a bunch of new ordinances to push out the fucking poor and gentrify the place.
Yeah.
I'm I'm sorry. Before anybody in government can pass a law, I thought it was the people that were supposed to decide if they wanted that law or not.
Well,
Now,
see,
if
that's the
that's the
problem.
case,
That's the
they
problem, though.
just
You
listen to
know,
what I'm going to say.
Yeah.
When they bring something up to pass a law on, don't you think the people out there should be able to have a vote, do a voting thing about it?
Yeah, absolutely. But the problem is that we have these elected, quote unquote, representatives of the people.
Yeah, they just go in and say what they think we want.
Right.
No.
They don't give a shit about
That
us.
But no,
That's
as
right.
far as
That's why I said have an election before they pass these laws to see if the people want them or not. To
well,
hell with it being the representative. Okay, you can be the representative, but you have to represent your constituents first.
okay, here's how that goes, Hairbag. When they want to change things locally, they're hidden in the election. Like you think you're voting for mayor and some weird proposition that makes absolutely no sense. And it was designed that way.
Well, town councils and county boards of supervisors have these things called closed sessions
Yeah,
where
we're good
they
about
get
those
together
too.
amongst themselves and decide how are we going to generate fucking this revenue for this, this program that we want. We want to revamp downtown. And I know your cousin's buddy has a fucking construction company and your friend over here's got an electrician company and so they're putting together these public projects but scratching each other's backs, while
Oh yeah.
doing it. And they're siphoning money
Right,
off the top of that shit.
right.
Like my county set forth a lawsuit against pharmaceuticals for the opiate epidemic. Did they ask us? No. They filed the lawsuit. The lawsuit went forward. They won the lawsuit, right? Ain't none of it going to touch opiate problems. It
Right.
bought a new sheriff's department.
Yeah, it was just a shitload of money that was generated for the state and the law firm.
Yeah. Put up a rehab for, opiates? No. Didn't touch opiate addiction at all. Didn't go to help anything. But the sheriff's department got to take over the old hospital because they bought it for the sheriff department.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a real drag. It's a real drag. And unfortunately it's got to come to a point to where common sense people just got to pull their heads out, and go,
Right.
okay, we've had enough of this shit.
Yeah, that's us too right now, sipping. When COVID hit and everybody had to stay home and everybody decided they wanted to go find a new home with lower taxes, everybody flooded the state of Tennessee. Now, what they didn't realize that their sales tax was going to be maxed out, that when they went to get their tags, there's going to be 2 wheel taxes that don't touch the roads. It goes to the college and some other shit. But yeah, they flooded in here and then they wanted to change it.
That shit's still super cheap, dude, compared to California.
They're online all the time in our local Facebook group talking about, oh, we need this restaurant and we need that restaurant and we need this shopping center and we need that store. And I still have the same answer. Then get off your duff, go get a loan and open the damn thing. Y'all sitting over here pounding your fist because we don't have the restaurants y'all want. That takes finances. That takes somebody that wants to open that store and run it and pay for it. You don't just get to snap your fingers and say, ooh, I want a Taco Bell there. Go take out your loan and put a Taco Bell there.
Of all fucking dirtbag places, why would you choose Taco Bell?
I was just using it as an example, but if you want a Red Lobster in your town, then be that person that goes out, does the legwork.
Yeah, the franchisee.
Go start up your own Red Lobster. If you're not going to do it yourself, don't get on here and pound your fist about what our little town doesn't have. If you want it, create it.
Right. Yeah, no, food trucks became a really big thing in Paradise after the fire. Like there was a food truck on just about every corner.
Yeah, and I bet they were all from out of town too.
Yeah, there was a bunch of them coming from like Orville and Durham, like all the little surrounding areas, and they were all coming up the hill to park their truck for the day.
And
You
see,
know?
it is convenient when everything's burned down that everybody brings their food trucks in.
Yeah, yeah. Because there
But
ain't much up there in the way
right,
of
but the
food.
problem is it doesn't go forth to help that community. You pay for that taco in that truck, and that money goes right back to that town it came from. Now
Yeah,
he's going to take it back to the next town, go to the grocery store, pay his rent, pay his light bill, but the money's leaving. So it's not helping you guys. It's offering food, but it's not rebuilding the neighborhood. It's not putting money back into the local economy.
yeah. The problem is though, I mean, between the state of California and the town ordinances and the health and safety shit, it's so expensive to open a brick and mortar store. That a lot of
Yeah.
people don't have that kind of capital and don't qualify for those lines of credit and can't get insurance.
But see, that's
And
the
all
only
that
thing
shit.
that's going to breathe life back into that town is if when somebody spends $1, it stays there in that town.
Well, I mean, if the town really wants to generate funds, it really needs to lax up on its
Yeah.
garbage ordinances and its taxes and its permitting fees and all this kind of shit.
Yeah, because they're saying now by doing that and the whole town being destroyed, the whole town has to face that red tape, and it's not helping rebuild. It's hindering. It's making it too hard.
Yeah, it's crazy. You were talking about like registration in Tennessee, like how, like when I started driving my Volkswagen when I was like 16 or 17,
Yeah.
uh, it was $48. When I last registered my bug last year in California before I left, it had gone to 170 something dollars, like $178.
Huh. Yeah, we have two wheel taxes now. And it's a tax they charge you for driving on our roads, but the wheel tax does not go back to repairing the roads. One of them goes to paying the light bill at a college that we didn't ask for. They put in a state college with $1 million budget and overran the budget before they got the college finished. So that cost fell on the town. We had to put a whole new $20 wheel tax on your registration just to finish paying for this college that we didn't ask for.
Wow. And I mean, did the town council just decided that that's what they were going to do, or did the people get a chance to even vote on that?
It was hidden. I can't
Yeah.
even remember how they hid it, but it was in with the local election. You vote for who you want, city council, the alderman, the mayor, all this kind of crap. And then proposal 1, proposal 2, and the way they word it is so confusing that you really don't understand what you're voting for.
Right.
And it'll be for us not to do this road was kind of how it was worded. And you're like, well, so are they doing the road or not? It's kind of a double negative in there. So what am I voting for? So the vote is confusing. But they'll slide them in, they'll hide them in these little local elections. And next thing you know, it's not what you wanted.
Right. Yeah, no, they did the same thing in California with the new DMV tax or whatever, and it allows the state of California just to increase registration tax whenever it feels like it needs to supplement. And a lot of people like were pissed off about it after the fact, and they were like, "Well, wait a second. This is what it says here, but this is so it means something fucking different. What the hell is that?" You know? A lot of people were really, really angry about it, that they snuck it in like that.
Nikita, thank you, sweetheart. That was very sweet of you. Thank you so much. I did get that. I just wanted Nikita to know I did get that. I don't know how you found me. I thought that was hidden. That's sweet. But yeah, I mean, so to live off the land anymore is so much red tape, and you own the property
Yeah.
unless you don't pay taxes. And then they can take your property. Or
Yep.
if you've been offered some money because they want to put a shopping center in there, oh God, that gets hairy.
Yeah.
They end up
And
taking it from
if
you.
you decline, they turn around and just go, okay, well, eminent domain.
Yeah, we take your land. Sorry, bye.
Yeah. Yeah, that happened to a bunch of people that were homesteading and had a farm in a little valley in between where I lived in Simi and then Thousand Oaks. So there was a little valley that you went through, and they wanted to build a freeway overpass through this guy's farmland, and he was like, "No, fuck you guys." You know what I mean? I don't want to sell. My family's been here 100 fucking years. And so the government just came in and said, okay, well, eminent domain, we're taking your shit anyway. And it made the news like the guy didn't leave, like it was an armed standoff and shit. They sent sheriffs to his house. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, so, I mean, people say land of the free, and I'm like, really? How fucking free are you? Where's your
Yeah.
fucking freedom? Just because we're not living under some communist fucking rule? It feels like we're living under communist fucking rule, you know? In certain ways. I mean, don't get me wrong, in a lot of other ways, we're still freer than most of the fucking rest of the world, but that's only because the citizenry has guns.
We are only free to choose how we obtain our money. But the fact still remains we have to obtain it or we're without. So, I mean, it's free, but it's not free. The only thing free we get to choose is, how we make our money. And sometimes we don't even get to choose that.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of jaded in the fact that, like, we were brought up as kids to believe, land of the free and fucking home of the brave and all that. Well, the home of the brave part is still true, but the older I've gotten and the more fucked I've been by life, the more I've realized, like, we're not really free at all. We're financial fucking slaves on a fucking open air tax farm.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And to learn that our government gets paid because we can free will pay or free will print our money. And then they double back on us with taxes to pay for our government is like, wow.
Yeah, that whole thing, it's such a fucking scam. It really is. I mean, have you guys seen the prices of gold and silver lately?
No.
Actually, no, I haven't looked lately.
Yeah, you guys should check that out.
Let's go look at that.
That might raise your eyebrows.
Why is it higher than it's been before?
It's climbing real quick. I mean,
Wow.
gold and silver made pretty big jump over the last few days.
Wow.
And so a lot of people are saying that the United States fiat currency is getting ready to crash, and a lot of banks and a lot of people are turning around and transferring their wealth and making a run on precious metals, and it's driving the prices through the roof right now.
Holy cow. For a gram of gold?
How much?
It's $73.63 right now.
Yeah, and
For
there's
a
32
gram.
and there's 32 grams in an ounce.
Yeah.
In a troy ounce.
So an ounce is worth $2,290 right now for an ounce of gold.
Wow.
Right.
Makes you want to go to Alaska and gold mine, don't it?
Shoot, no, makes me want to break out that jewelry box and start melting some shit down. I mean, you'd be surprised what you have, honestly, in your jewelry box between the gold necklaces, the one earring, where you can't find the other.
Well, I guess the guys are shit out of luck because men don't normally have jewelry boxes. At least not
Yeah,
that I've ever seen.
No, we stack silver bars and silver coins, and we have gold.
Right.
That's what we do. And I'm glad I invested when I did. I started investing like probably, I don't know, last year, and yeah, so
Well, you're a
I
regular
wish I would have bought it
Parker
back when it
Schnabel.
was like $800 an ounce.
yeah.
Did you hear me?
What'd you say?
You're original Parker Schnabel.
Yeah, no, that guy is insanely fucking
That
rich.
guy, I know, man. Like, you just grow up and granddaddy hands it to you. It's so insane how he grew up.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Parker,
successful too.
I
That's
Well,
the
yeah,
know.
that's the
amazing
thing. Like
part of it.
he built that business like way up from like what his grandfather gave him.
Okay, and you
His
guys
grandfather
remember.
gave him like a one-man operation, and he
Yeah.
turned a one-man operation into a fucking giant crew with multi-gazillion dollar equipment and thousands of acres of land.
His grandfather lived long enough to actually see the day that Parker rolled $1 million in gold.
Yep.
Now you're
I
talking
remember that.
This kid is spending his summers learning the trade, right? He's spending all summer
Mhm.
out with Grandpa in the mine. And Grandpa had one mine that he gave Parker.
Yep.
But, this kid is packing away money. He has no overhead for a business. He's got no brick and mortar to pay for. He's got no mortgage to pay for. He's got no children to save up, not even a wife. Like, he's 16 years old. When
Was.
Grandpa hands in, yeah, was because he's older now, but was 16 years old when Grandpa handed him the keys to this mine, and he,
Yeah.
let him go.
And he ran with it, man, and
And
look what
he
he
was
did.
what?
Yeah, he
It was
did.
what, 19 when he rolled in that million.
It's awesome.
And I'm like, oh, this kid just walks into a skill, just stumbles upon a trade.
I don't know. It's kind of one of those things. Maybe, maybe it was just he was clandestine to do it,
Oh,
because he was just born
absolutely.
into that trade.
Well,
You
you
Yeah.
know
know?
what I think got him into it? His affection for his grandfather was so strong he couldn't avoid it.
Oh, absolutely.
Well,
Absolutely.
when you hand a kid a challenge, they're gonna challenge it. They're gonna, you know what I mean? They're gonna lean into it with everything they have. And so, going and spending the summers with his grandfather, that was his grandfather handing him a challenge, whether it be learning guitar or whatever, but he handed him the challenge of learning how to get that gold out of the ground
Yeah.
through that sleuther in the best way, and then to market.
Yeah.
Do you remember what Grandpa Schnabel told him just before he left for the first trip to Alaska?
Other than make $1 million.
He says, Parker, I hope you get your dream come true. I hope you find thousands of ounces up there.
And boy, did he.
And look, oh man, he made over that. What the hell was it they said the
Oh,
total
come
weight
on,
was
guys.
that he's pulled out?
He's been at it long enough that he has Tony by the balls.
It's something like 75 or 80 pounds.
But
No, it's got to be more than that.
He got so good at the business side of it that now he owns Tony. And
He
Tony,
has surpassed Tony.
yeah, and you got to think Tony's running all of his kids and him, like it's a whole family business.
Yeah, that's the thing though. It's like it's the ground in which you're able to run. You know what I
But he
mean?
didn't outgold Tony. He outsmarted Tony.
Well, he just got
Yeah.
better ground. You know, he got better ground.
Well,
What are you gonna, you know, what are you gonna do?
No, he's got
Yeah.
better equipment than Tony has.
well, Tony
His
wasn't
shit is
asked to him
falling
at
apart.
first.
Where Parker, he has practically all new equipment.
And
Yeah.
I'm talking about the water rots and how Parker
Yeah.
got over on
That was a
Tony.
big. That was a
That
big
was
game.
a business smart. Like he outsmarted Tony. And
I
Tony gave
love
him
that when he looked at Tony and he says, "Tell me why I shouldn't look at you and just tell you to go F yourself."
because you know how many times
Mm-hmm.
Tony told him that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Because Tony was rough with him. He was mean. He didn't give Parker not an inch when, in any
That's
business
right.
dealing. He would screw Parker over any chance he got.
You know. Yep. I remember that shit. That
And
was
then
heavy.
when Parker purchased just the right land, and it was finally Parker that had the water and not Tony. Tony had to beg Parker for water, and he had him. Like he outsmarted Tony. He outbusinessed Tony.
Did you guys ever watch that hillbilly show where they go out ginseng hunting?
Oh no, I haven't seen
I used to, and I can't find it anymore.
Oh boy, dude. That shit is hairy.
that.
Yeah.
We had two guys went missing up here in the mountains a few years back, right? And they didn't want to say what they were out there for, but they got separated. The father and the son got separated. So it was the son that was missing. And he spent all day trying not to have to call for help because they weren't supposed to be out in the national park hunting for ginseng. It's illegal.
Yeah.
So half the day goes by before he finally contacts the rangers and tells them he doesn't tell him what they were doing. They were just out there, right? So they spend the other half the day out there looking for his son. And sure enough, they roll up and he's got loads of ginseng, right?
Oh, damn it. Excuse me.
Needless to say, they both went to jail for making them search.
Damn.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, there was some other ones where you know, there's like certain families have certain territories, you know. And you know, like within, it's like crab fishing. Like within a month, you can make $30,000, you know, and that feeds your family for the year.
I
You know
think
what I
the
mean?
better analogy would have been it's like moonshining
Mm-hmm.
because people have their own territory. Don't come
Yep.
into my territory.
Oh yeah, and there's like full on like gun battles and shit, shots fired.
Yeah.
Oh, the whole Hatfield and McCoy thing. Yeah.
Yeah, no,
You
that
crossed
shit's a
over onto their
serious business,
property, and
man.
that very well could be the case.
Oh,
Yeah,
we're
no,
still like
it's a
that.
serious business because I guess the Appalachian ginseng is the most sought after in the world.
It is, and it's hard to find, and the most places to find it, like I said, is in the forest, the national parks and stuff, and that's illegal.
But you
That,
see, the thing is, you got to also know how to look and what side of the mountain it would be on.
yeah, I
Now, would
still
it be on the most sunny side, which would be the north side, facing south, or would it be the south side facing north,
I'm gonna say it's
east,
gonna be the
or
shady
west?
side. Well, I'm gonna say it's gonna be the shady side. It has more moisture.
Yeah, I don't know.
So
I know
that'd
that
be
shit. I know it
basically
takes
that
a
would be the
long,
north.
long time to grow. That's for sure. Because they showed a couple of guys picking it, and they were like, "This ginseng right here, I bet my granddaddy planted this." You
Yeah,
know,
I don't even know
as
how to
he's digging
spot
it
it.
up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I don't even
I
know how
don't
to
know why
spot
the
it.
idiots don't take the berries and freaking grow them themselves.
It's a root,
I
actually.
guess
I know.
I guess it's really, really hard to grow. It's a very finicky plant,
It's wild.
and
It's hard to spot because you got to dig it up. So there's
Right.
a certain little plant leaf sticking out of the ground that you're walking around looking for to say, that's a ginseng leaf.
Right.
Right.
And then you got to, dig the root up.
Yeah, I guess like something like they wait until like the berries show so that way they can
Yeah.
replant them.
Yeah, there's a
Yeah.
season for it.
I
And they
can't
do.
believe how much that shit's worth too.
They
That's,
train
I don't
dogs
know.
here.
It's right up there with gold.
Oh
They
yeah.
they train dogs here to sniff it out.
Yeah, I mean, what was it that they use? They breed this certain breed of pig, and they use them to go truffle hunting because that's
Right.
huge money too.
Yeah, but won't they eat them once they come upon them?
I don't know.
No.
I guess they train them or whatever. Because I mean, a pig is pretty smart. They're just as smart as a dog.
Yeah. You got to take the ring out though for 'em to find them.
But yeah, no, they'll sniff them out and they'll use them to sniff them out and they'll go truffle hunting with them. I mean,
It's
that's
amazing
huge
how they
money
can
too.
smell them things through the dirt, you know it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy. Like just like some of the ginseng stuff, like these guys are, they're armed, and they've got armed security and stuff with them when they're transporting this shit because it's worth so much money.
And that's it's not illegal to have or to sell. It's just where these guys are hunting for it that it is like a huge black market kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. It's just like growing pot out in a national forest. Same shit.
Yeah. But you wouldn't believe how much goes on in the national forest.
Oh boy. Yeah, nobody out there for miles. Yeah. It gets a little eerie at night, let me tell you.
Only if there's a noise, I guess, but you get back here far enough, you know where each other's at, and you know when you see that little puff of smoke that they don't need company for a week or two. It's so funny because the way the mountains, the crevices, and it's one ridge layered upon another ridge. Then on a good clear morning, you can just look out across there and see that little puff of smoke coming up in the crease. You're like, yeah, I know what that is.
That's funny.
I was
Yeah.
watching it, and then about an hour later, it started downpouring. Big old rain came in, and you could see that white puff of smoke where it put it out.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're laughing, going, "Oh, I know some aggravated people right now."
Mhm.
Bitch,
Yeah,
put it
but
out.
I mean, with the advent of like home stills that you can buy and just do it right there in your kitchen, you know, you can probably make, I bet maybe 3 gallons a month just by yourself, one person in a kitchen at your
There was
leisure.
a couple of years back. There was a couple of guys over in the town next to me that they had taken the time to. They all went in together to build the moonshine, so it was like between three guys, right? And something happens between two of them, and they get in a fight. And one of them wants to claim the moonshines, the steel, right? So they're like, "I want my steel back." One of the idiots gets the cops involved because it's in their mind it's theft of property.
It's what?
It's theft of property.
Oh, okay.
So the idiot calls the law, right? Local police, and he's like, "He's got my property. I want it back." What was that?
I have no idea.
It popped. I don't know. But anyway, so the law comes in and goes, "All right, let's see what's going on here. Let's let's dig around a little." So come to find out, three guys had built it, and then the one guy wants to claim it. And they go on in this article to talk about how much moonshine they made that year. and it was like 5 gallons. And they've had this moonshine for 5 years. And
We lost Aaron.
they've made 5 gallons of moon. I was like, y'all
That's
between
all they made was
yeah,
5
I'm like,
gallons?
that's what caught me. I was like, I get it, y'all go to jail, blah, blah, blah. But seriously, between the 3 of you and that moonshine still, all y'all got out was 5 gallons.
That is funny.
Like, I bet those 5 gallons aren't even here anymore. Y'all done drank that shit. All that shit for
Wow.
5 gallons of moonshine. But of course they go in and arrest everybody for illegal moonshining.
Well,
Arrest the guy for having the still, and I'm like, well, yeah, what did you think? You really called the law for stolen property? And it was a moonshine still? Uh, it's okay, Aaron.
that would be listed under dumb criminals.
Dumbest criminals. Got you and your boys busted over 5 gallons of moonshine.
One man, talk about the apple dumpling gang.
Mhm.
Do you know who that is?
That was a movie, wasn't it?
Yeah, Don Knotts.
And they kind of
Who else?
there was a little boy with them, right?
It's been so long that I don't remember.
Like they were
But there was
conning.
another comedian like Don Knotts in it that was his partner.
Let's see. Um, let's see. God, that was
I
a really
love it.
funny movie.
It was.
Susan Clark, Tim Conway, Don Knotts.
That's who it was, Tim Conway.
Yeah.
Oh, I loved him. That dude was freaking hilarious.
They were always a couple of good ones, though.
Oh my God, yes. I loved him on the Carol Burnett show. He was funnier than hell.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And Harry Morgan.
Harry Morgan, he played Colonel Potter in MASH.
God, I haven't thought about that story in years.
I watch it every day.
Really?
Yep, I sure do. I love MASH. I wish they would put All in the Family back on in reruns, but they couldn't get away with it nowadays. Or there'd be a lot of bleeps and bloops coming out of it.
I was just kind of rewatching it. Gosh, that's an old one.
Be right with you.
All right. I can't believe how fast it got cold here. We went from 80 degrees one day to 42 degrees today.
Yeah, I think we're in the low 40s too.
At least it's not windy. 15
It's
miles an hour.
breezy here. It's
15,
breezy here, but not windy.
15 mile an hour here is like standing still.
Hey, so you go, yeah, they were. Jeffersons were born from all in the family.
Yeah, a spinoff.
Yep. And Sherman Hemsley was not the first George Jefferson. They replaced both the original George and Louise with two other actors. But I like the Sherman Hemsley one. I love their maid. Oh my
Gossiping.
God, she
Sippin's got heat, but she's got some wind going on. 40 mile an hour gusts.
wow.
We had some the other night that were up to 90 mile an hour gusts.
Man, if you plan on going anywhere sipping, you better hold on to your hat. Holy hell. You'll become the flying nun.
Yeah, we had that the other day. I thought it was going to blow the house away. And you could hear it too. You could hear the wind just right. It would get, it would find a way into the roof. Woo, and roar for a minute.
Yeah. Seagull says, good times.
Yeah, I know, right? Sipping. I still don't know if there's anything that left my yard. Because if it did, it is a good 4 or 5 yards over. But it did knock down. It did knock down a lot of trees. We don't living in the forest. We're about out of trees over here. All the rain has made the ground soggy, and the dead trees soggy from the winter.
Right.
A little bit of wind, and they're either snapping in half or just blowing it over at the roots. It's like an every morning thing now. Somebody comes out down my road with a chainsaw just to make sure the bus can get up and down. But it's funny that they'll just cut it off right there at the edge of the road if it falls. You're driving out here with great old big logs on each side of the road looking at you.
You know, I don't know why you can't cut trees down that are already dead. Well, yeah, in a way, I guess I can. I just thought of it. I'll shut up now.
Well, I mean, living out here with all the trees, that's something that you do annually. You go around and you look at all the trees that are within falling range of the house. And if they're dead, yeah, you cut them down before they fall down so they don't
But
land on
you
the
know
house.
what? Actually, did you know that? Well, here anyway, it's illegal to do that. You know why?
Why?
Wildlife live in them.
Oh, well, we got too many to worry about that. They'll move a tree or two over. But yeah, we walk around our house and we look for anything that can burn to the house. We clear all that out, and any trees that look dead, that look like they'll fall within the next year, we'll go ahead and cut those down before they fall on the house. Because that's just shitloads of roof damage.
Are these on your property though?
Yeah.
Oh, then that's different. But here, you can't do that because of wildlife possibly living in the dead tree. You have to wait till it falls. If it falls, then you can cut it up and do what you want with it.
We have those beetles real bad, those little gray stink bugs, I guess you call them.
Yeah, oh, man. Yeah.
We have those really bad up here, and it's gotten a hold to the trees. But for that reason, we are not allowed to carry wood across county lines.
Well, that I don't blame them. Them
think
damn things. the only thing they're good for is nothing.
Every county down here is fully infested with them. And I can guarantee you those stink bugs do not come up to the county line and go, oh, you know what? I shouldn't leave the county. I should stay here and eat these trees. I should
Yeah, I
not,
know,
you
right?
know, like, I mean, it was like,
Oh,
what is
yeah. Hey, if we cross that line, we're going to get zapped by a bug zapper.
or no, we're just going to be in the next county on a tree. And because they don't want us carrying these bugs who are already infested in every county, they won't let us move wood across the county line. It's so ridiculous.
It is. Oh, well.
My husband one year had gone to the next county when we were still burning wood, had gone to the next county and had gotten a whole load of firewood from the guy and was going to bring it back. It was cut, but we still had to split it.
Right.
And there was a state trooper that caught him just before he got into the county line and pulled him over and made him take all of that wood, just chopped up logs, and throw it on the side of the road, which meant somebody else has got to come clean it up, and told him he would have had to wrote him a ticket if he went all the way to the county line. Like, that's insane. You know, come on. Do these bugs really stop at the county line? Hell no. They go where they go. And so
Yeah,
don't you think
that's it.
that we, y'all's bugs are the same as our bugs? We got the same bugs. Carrying these bugs across county line ain't going to change that. Never live it.
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
I got to ask, how many people have spit at them?
I haven't.
I have. You've never spit at a bug zapper.
No.
When we were kids in the 80s, Dad put a great old big one back up on the back porch, big blue one, And we'd sit back there and watch it zap the bugs. And every now and then we'd get bored. There wasn't no bugs. So my brother would walk over and spit at it.
Yeah, I haven't. The only one that I know that's around is my buddies that I go over to his house where I grilled that day.
Uh-huh.
But he has his over the grill so that when it zaps, it puts a little crunch on your meat. No, I'm joking.
That's funny.
This
How many of you guys have peed on an electric fence? Be honest.
ain't funny, Mouse. No, seriously, it's not funny.
I've heard some stories that a guy did it accidentally.
Read Frankie's comment.
How many stuck their tongues to it? Me, I did. Maybe that's what's wrong with me. I know. That's why I'm so glad I'm a girl sipping. I never got caught being on electric fence. But my brother, he was so naive, bless his heart. The older cousins literally walked him over and told him to do it. And he did it. He's like, okay.
Oh my God. Ouch. That's all I can say. Ouch.
But at that point, you're like, what did you think was going to happen, dude? But, in the 80s, each boy had to learn the hard way. And every guy I knew had a story. Like, every guy I knew had a piss on the fence story. It was like a rite of passage.
Oh my goodness.
They hurt when you forget they're there, don't they, Frankie?
Oh, they got a zap to them. They really do.
Uh-huh.
And the worst one I ever got zapped by was my uncle's. His battery was about the size of a carton of cigarettes, maybe a little taller. But it had two caps, one on each end. And that's what he powered his electric fence with. And I'll tell
Uh-huh.
you what, that sumbitch zapped the hell out of me. I didn't think a battery like that would have that much power. Man, that sumbitch sure did.
Well, you got to think a 9-volt will go in a zap
Oh, I
gun.
can stick my tongue on a 9-volt. That don't do jack.
Plug it into a taser gun and watch it out. And that's just off a 9-volt. I quit carrying the taser gun though. I kind of figured out that was really not the brightest thing. If they were close enough to me for me to use that zapper on them, I was
They
in
wouldn't have
trouble.
got that close to you.
Well, that's what I'm saying. To get close enough to use the taser, to me, I was already in trouble if I was that close to a
Yeah,
man to attack.
exactly.
Like
Exactly.
I already had to be in the danger zone to, to do it, to divert him or whatever.
And you were probably going to end up on the lower end of the deal.
Oh yeah, because I'm small, so I have to have
Yeah.
something else to fight with, And I realized, yeah, that to be able to tase that person, I was already in the danger zone. I was too close.
Yeah, but I don't know. I know you're talking hypothetical, but you know, anybody has to
Yeah.
do that to a woman ain't much of a man anyway. And whatever they get, they should get their ass beat after they go to court.
Oh yeah.
Because in my eye, there's such thing as legal ramifications, and then there's street justice.
Yeah, Frankie, that's what a cop told me once. And that was the discussion. The taser, they were too close, but that wasp spray has a good stream on it,
You're right. She is right.
Yeah. And that it'll burn their eyes just as bad as pepper spray. And that gives you a little distance between you and him to shut him down. I haven't heard
It
that
also
until
works if you think of it this way too. You use that bug spray and then you hold a lighter under it, you got a flamethrower.
Yeah, and that does take care of wasp nests like that.
Well, I'm talking about anybody trying to attack you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Did I say Frankie sipping? Did I do that? uh, I get a
Jeez.
loopy.
Yes, Mom.
Well, sure, her back. She didn't know that.
What does she not know about? Street
Flammability, I guess.
justice?
Street justice.
Mm.
Hooray, Frankie Jr. What did Frankie Jr. do? We already have a Frankie Jr. Oh, and did you hear hair bag? I was so
What?
the kitten that I gave to Days that I thought was a girl that, and I wasn't sure. I did tell her I wasn't sure, but I thought it was a girl. It was not a girl. I'm so glad we named it Frankie.
Yeah, really. Well, it
Turn,
does go either way.
turns out it was a boy. But she loves him all the same, thank goodness. I did not know. I did not know.
Oh, making it flammable.
Yeah.
Take it outside some night and try it.
Simpsons, I'll be mean ass for a bit. Yeah, I'm glad we named the cat Frankie because it was a boy. Whoops. And he just turned a year old too. They just had a birthday. He is a good kitty too. She picked a good one. I've got the brother to him. He does mean like Frankie, huh? I've got the brother to Frankie and he's white. He's beautiful, but he's huge. He got big and thick.
I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Frankie.
He's mean like Frankie. I know, sipping, but I really thought it was a girl. I knew I could tell the one I got was gonna be a boy because his gonads were brown. Like they stuck out. I could tell, because he was white and his little nads were brown. No, he's the goofball, Frankie. I don't know how I got stuck with the goofball, but he is the goofiest goofball. He's real laid back and real sweet, but he's just goofy. He's like slow. When you pick him up, he just melts. Like all of his muscles go limp. And he's always been that way. He won't cuddle. You pick him up and he just goes limp. And Snowball had a real bad habit of falling asleep on things he would fall off of.
Well, that just means he trusts you when he just goes limp.
Yeah. But like he doesn't even hold his head up to look at you. He just blah. But for the last year, you just walk around the house, doing your daily thing, and you'll hear a crash. And that was him falling asleep on something and rolling off. Yeah, like a rag doll.
Yeah,
He's got these
I
great
can
old big
picture it.
blue eyes. And he just looks at you with such love. He's so sweet and laid back. But get him outside, and I mean, he's a big, thick, mean cat. I got one. I chose the one I thought would be a good mouser, and he is fantastic. He brings me moles. My son thought it would be funny because y'all all know that I hate snow. And I wanted to find a name, like Stetson or something, really cool for this cat because he was just gorgeous, really handsome cat. And my son comes in and says, I think we ought to call him Snowball. And I laughed. I said, no. And he says, why? I said, well, that's like what you name your first cat when you're little. He looks me dead in the eyes and goes, well, it's my first cat. I'm naming it Snowball because he knows I hate snow. Maybe just
Gotcha, mouse.
I know. So now I'm walking around going, snowball, snowball. But I did also get to practice going, no, snow, no, no, snowball. I'm sipping. We'll probably wrap this up here pretty soon. We've been up here a couple hours.
Yeah, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, we've had a good day getting everybody off and on their day.
There's a couple that didn't come in to support, but that's all right. See
Yeah,
how it is.
I know they're probably tied up with crises, so that's okay.
Oh yeah.
But for the most part, did Luna come in? Luna came in today, didn't she?
Yep. Yep. Gutters did. Oh, I guess the ones I was thinking about did come in. Never mind. It was one. Well, actually two, but
Oh, be
who's counting?
careful, Frankie. I need to be out driving, but it's raining today and I don't want to get out. So I have
I
a
don't
list
want to
of
get out either.
honeydews around the house. What do you think about that?
I don't know. It's not what do I think about it. What will he think about it?
Oh, it was his honeydews, trust me.
Honey, can you do this?
Yeah.
Honey, can you do that?
Okay, Sippy. Now I've had fun too. Thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day, Sippin' and Dave.
Yeah, you too. Yes.
We love our forest too. He come up on Kathy's and did his forest. They yes, Sippin', they did find her. She was at the hospital, but she's okay. Everything's okay. And she'll be home soon. But yeah, they did find her. It was a little scary, but they finally found her. That Patricia got off yesterday and didn't come home.
Yeah.
Give us a good scare. And thank you so much, Sippin', for asking. Thank you very much.
Oh, it's good that they found her without, anybody harming her.
Yeah. Yeah, it it was scary. They didn't know what to think, but they did find her. Thank goodness.
Yeah, I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety in that one, wasn't there? But yeah, guys, it's been a good day. I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up here back. We
Okay.
have gone on to the 1 o'clock hour. We've gotten everybody through the morning, through the coffee hour, and off about on their day, which is what we wanted. You guys remember to hit each other's link, go sub up to each other, meet new friends, because that's what coffee club's about. It's hanging out with new people, meeting new friends, growing
Right.
together. This has been you can find us under hashtag coffee clubs on most mornings. I have Thursday. Gutters Pub has taken Friday. We're back over at Buddy's on Saturday. On Mondays, we're at Luna's. And we're working on Tuesday and Wednesday. So if you guys have a channel and y'all want to take a day for coffee, we'll all come over to your channels. Guaranteed views, great way to network. Let me know. Shoot me an email. You can find that on my About page. Or leave me a comment under one of my videos and let me know you'd like to be part of Coffee Club and you'd like for us to come over there for a day every week. And with that, guys, I want to thank you here back for coming up on panel.
You're welcome.
And Gigi, who joined us
Oh,
earlier.
always a pleasure, is what I wanted to add to that.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining me in chat. It means the world to me that y'all show up for my coffee clubs on Thursdays, because I love getting to catch up with you guys, chilling out in a calm atmosphere. And shout out to the replay crew, because you guys are gold. And with that, we'll see you guys on the next one. We'll be at...
And thank you for coming in.
Absolutely.
Have a good day, everyone.
Tomorrow we'll be at Gutter Pub, so look for Gutter Pubs tomorrow morning. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.